it is actually possible to feel really good most of the time. And I'm going to stretch that a little bit. I'm going to say it's possible to feel good all of the time. It's a case of remembering who we truly are. And what we truly are is high frequency beings. What's happened is we get our vibration and our frequency lowered because we're running programs. We're running beliefs about ourselves. See, innately, we are born inherently pure, high vibrational, happy, laughing, joyful beings. I mean, go and watch a child, go and watch a baby. I mean, right, when the baby's not crying its head off for some food, it's really happy. They're smiling, they're always in that moment. Now, as we get older and we go through what we'll call life on this earth, we pick up all these beliefs. They can come from all angles, and when we pick up all these beliefs that are inherently negative and low vibration, we take them on. And we start thinking that those beliefs and these programs and the thoughts are ours. And as we get that little bit more older and we get into our adult life, we've got all these beliefs and programs running, and they're lowering our frequency. They're bringing us down by the way of the thoughts that we're actually thinking. But we're not actually knowing that we're thinking those thoughts. We don't even know that we've got these beliefs going on. And we're just going about our business, doing our daily lives, wishing you could be happy, wishing you could be, feeling really good, and always wondering why. Most of us then go for distractions, and then we end up getting addictions, and we end up self-harming because we're trying to avoid these emotions. We're trying to avoid the feelings. But what if I said it's your inner self actually giving you these low emotions and these low feelings, these low frequency feelings, because it's trying to inform you that you're actually having low frequency thoughts. You're actually running low frequency beliefs. And as your being, the inner self, is instructing you and always trying to tell you this, and that inner self is always trying to help you raise your frequency back up, well, it's not really. What it's trying to do is show you that you're thinking these thoughts, you're having a belief, and you'll naturally be this high frequency. We go about distracting ourselves more, because as we distract ourselves, our inner self will make those emotions and feelings even stronger. And as that inner being makes those feelings even stronger to try and get your attention, because it's now shouting at you, hi, I'm now trying to get your attention, you're not listening, so I'm going to make them louder. We go for the distractions even more. We go for the addictions even more, and we hurt ourselves even more. Then our being will try to make them even louder, and then to a point what happens is when we're really not listening and we're just distracting ourselves with all sorts of things, it's going to start manifesting as ill health in the body, disease, aches, pains, and depression and everything else that goes along with that. So to come out of these states that we've been putting ourselves in for a long, long time now, we can then begin to choose high frequency thoughts. We can start dropping limiting beliefs, and then we can ultimately change the core concept we've got of ourselves. When we change the core concept of ourselves by putting in these high frequency, positive, strong, powerful thoughts, we then naturally have our vibration, our frequency manifest. It is always there, it is just going to come forward that once more. There's no trying to do this. There's no trying to raise your frequency, to try to raise your vibration by all these different techniques and modalities and all these processes. All we have to do is remember that we truly are high frequency beings already, and that we can achieve that right in this moment. First step to choosing that in this very moment is realizing that our inner self is actually helping us. When we get to a point when we actually know that our inner being is actually helping us by giving us these negative emotions, saying to us, these negative emotions are a manifestation of your lower thoughts, of the lower beliefs that you've got. As we develop that and we realize, hang on a minute, I'm being helped here, that creates a positive feedback loop into helping you even more. Then you can go about addressing this. And one way to address it is stop being so busy. because we've all been conditioned into being very busy and not actually sitting with ourselves, because when we actually sit with ourselves, even just for a minute, it all comes up. And most people, including myself for many years, didn't want to look at it. I was like, no, I'm not interested in looking at that, it hurts too much. Being actually just sitting there, just for 1 minute, that's all we've got to do to start. Just 1 minute of sitting there, noticing the emotions in us. They go, they're unwanted. I don't want these emotions, but actually just sit through that, just lean into that a little bit further. And then notice what thoughts are running. Notice what beliefs are running in the background. What is it that's actually being generated? Those old thoughts that may come up. Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. You will notice them. And we've just got to sit there, like I said, just for a minute. We don't have to go in too hard and steam in, like I've said in other videos, because that can actually put us off going into this a little bit further. We can actually just sit there and be gentle with ourselves, because being gentle with ourselves is actually an attribute of beginning to love ourselves once again. And saying that we actually begin to love ourselves once again, it's like this high frequency thing. We don't actually begin to love ourselves once again. It's just a terminology, it's just words. We already love ourselves. We're already built of love. We're already powerful, high frequency beings anyway. So as we use these methods to break free of the thoughts and the programs, our natural abilities come through, our natural creativity and what we want to do, the life we actually come to live here, flowers and flourishes once again. We settle more, we relax more into life, and as we relax into that wholeness of what we are. We feel better just by relaxing. And losing limiting beliefs, changing thoughts, coming back into alignment of who we truly are, has another positive feedback loop which helps us even relax more. In relaxing, our health gets better, our vibration is there, is revealed to us, and then we can do all those things that we've always been wanting to do. We can live our desires, we can live our dreams, we really can do that. But many of us find it very challenging to even begin to want to think, do you know what, I could live my desires, I could live my dreams, and I really could this. We're stuck in those beliefs, we're stuck in those programs and those lower thoughts. So like I said, be gentle with this. Sit with yourself just for 1 minute. Heck, even just 10 seconds, if that's what it takes, just to begin. Because once we begin, we actually give ourselves permission to actually go forward and do this a little bit more. We give ourselves permission to have that high frequency just by allowing ourselves just to sit there for even 10 seconds. It might seem like, what's 10 seconds going to do? What's 1 minute going to do? Maybe in itself, it might not do that much. But sit with yourself for another 10 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute later. Sit with yourself for a minute tomorrow. Sit with yourself for a minute the day after and the day after that. Because it's in that consistency of just a little bit at a time. Not too much, just a little bit, and let it build. Let it build slowly by being gentle and caring for ourselves. That we have that positive feedback loop keep going and helping us even more. And actually, when we give ourselves permission to face those things, face those limiting beliefs, face those thoughts that have been running around and doing our heads in for so long and causing all these distractions and all these addictions and all these unwanted behaviours, we then begin to align with what we are. We begin to allow ourselves to be what we are. And yeah, it does take a little bit of time. I'm not going to lie about that. It is a process. But this process has got to be better than the old ways, the old stories. It's got to be better than keep distracting ourselves and keep doing the addictions and keep doing the old behaviours that are ultimately self-harming. They're ultimately self-abuse. We're not here to keep abusing ourselves. We're here to ultimately feel good and live life with joy once again. Now, if you're anything like me, hearing these sorts of words, you might be like, oh, what a load of fluff. You know, I've been trying this and trying that. And I did for many years, decades actually, nearly 3 decades. I put myself through such hardships, such terrible situations, such terrible abuse with so many different addictions. I'm here to share with you that it can be done. I'm testimony to it. I've seen others that have been through these processes and learnt again that we are high vibrational beings at the core. We truly are powerful, magical beings. I've seen others come out of it, I've come out of it, and like I said, I don't come on these videos and I've just read a few books about self-help or read some esoteric books and ancient books and done a few things and tried to memorize them. I come from this from experience. I come from this from living life fully, from all the ups and downs, all the real hardships. And I have come to see that I have come out of it, I've worked my way through it, and I know that I can offer that as a truth. Like I said, not just something I've read in a book and I'm just regurgitating that. This comes from practice, this comes from me doing this and showing others how to do this and watching their lives change as well. And you really can change your life. You really can develop strategies to drop beliefs, to change the thoughts to positive, powerful thoughts, and you can change your core concept of yourself. Like I said, it just takes a little bit of practice. And I know it's challenging to do this. I know it's challenging just to give yourself permission to sit there and go through this process. But you can do this. Like I said, if you do it gently and you do it slowly, you will build up momentum. And as you build up momentum, you build up that trust again with yourself. You build up that thing, do you know what, I can do this. I can do this once again. I can face that belief. I can face this challenge. I can face those negative thoughts that have been going on, those intrusive thoughts that have been going on. I don't have to run away from them anymore. I don't have to distract myself anymore. I don't have to go for the addiction anymore. I don't have to hurt myself anymore. I really can do this. And you can. You really can do this. It doesn't take discipline. It doesn't take hard work. It doesn't take grinding. It doesn't take being productive. It doesn't take what we've been taught to do. It doesn't take, but we've got to keep going and do this hard. It's got to be hard and it's going to be so grinding and I'm going to achieve something at the end of it. It doesn't have to be that way. Life is inherently very flowing. Life is inherently very easy. We've just been taught differently. We've taken on those beliefs that everything's hard, everything's difficult, and it can't be done. Well, it can be done, and it can be done with ease, and it can be done with grace. And we can set intention when we go to do these processes with ourselves. We can set intention to sit with ourselves and go, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to sit with myself and it's going to be okay. Yeah, it might be uncomfortable, but it's in that being uncomfortable where we know that our inner self is actually helping us. It's actually helping us with these unwanted emotions. And when you know that, you can actually face it. You go, actually, this emotion is uncomfortable, sure, and I accept that. Now, I know my inner self is telling me, by giving me these emotions, by giving me these lower feelings, that my thinking's off. I'm having limiting beliefs running in the background. Now I know that. Now I know I'm guided. I really am guided. This is my guidance system. You know, because so many of us go, well, where was my intuition? I want to have better intuition. I want to be intuitive. I want to be led and guided by my intuition. This is your intuition, your emotions. And instead of running away from them and going into it, going, actually, this is my intuition working. Yeah, that's your intuition working for you. Life is always working for you. Life is always helping you. Your inner self will always help you. Now, sometimes that might get really messy, like with the really heavy emotions, and we call it messy. Sure. And then in the mess, we can actually say, that's okay too. Let's take a stop. Let's slow down. Because most of us have been taught to keep busy, 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 be productive, and there's your self-worth and all that. When we actually stop, you might have some guilt, might have that unwanted emotion. Your inner being letting you know, yeah, that you don't need to be busy to be self-worth, to be good enough. You don't need to be doing all of these things all of the time. You can stop. You can take an inventory in yourself, you can slow down and you can say to yourself, that's okay. I'm stopping just for a moment out of my schedule, and I'm going to look what this is. What is my inner self trying to show me at this particular time? How are you helping me? And ultimately being grateful for that. Because if you are struggling to reveal your frequency, to reveal yourself, being grateful is such a high frequency thought, such a high frequency belief. You can actually start there. You can actually start with being grateful and saying, do you know what, thanks. Thanks for showing me that this uncomfortable feeling is actually showing me that I'm thinking wrong and got these beliefs running. Thank you so much. And in that thanking so much, you're going to give yourself that little bit more higher frequency feeling. It gives you even more confidence to step into this that a little bit more. And as we begin to step into this that little bit more, we do actually begin to live the life we come here to live. We do actually come and live our desires. We do actually come and live our dreams. No matter what those dreams are, big, small, doesn't matter. We come to live them. We come to do this, and we come to do this with a high frequency. We come to do this with a vibration we truly are, and we come to do this with ultimately the unconditional, powerful love that we are. So let's begin. Let's begin today. Just for a moment, choose. Today, in this moment, right now even, after this video ends, I'm going to sit there just for that moment and say, okay, these unwanted feelings. What beliefs are running? What thoughts are running? See what that reveals to you, and see the magic that actually comes from this, and see how well you can get your frequency back to that ultimately high vibration that we truly are.